candy cane hot chocolate. This may possibly be the best and only milk frother and stir that you will need. It is the DREO BaristaMaker Milk Frother. If you want something with lots of options, clean UI, simple to use, well priced, dishwasher safe, if you suck at making latte art milk, this can do it all for you. Consistently too. Disclaimer that DREO did send this to me for review, but no money was exchanged for this review. They have no say whatsoever in any input into this review. Let's jump right into the functionality. BaristaMaker Milk Frother comes with this base as well as 2 different stir sticks. This is for your microfoam and your milk frothing. This is just to stir. It's pretty easy to figure out which one is which. This has the propellers and it has that little microphone screen in order to froth. Whereas this one's just a stir. It's also a magnetic base, but it is very lightweight so that if you do pull something off, it kind of just comes along with you for the journey. It's very easy to use. You have very clean, clear UI. So on one side you have frothing and on the other side you have stirring. On top of it, you can also change between Celsius and Fahrenheit. And they don't do weird conversions, is a clear number. So you don't get 64.5 Celsius or something. It'll be like 65 Celsius. So that's really great for international buyers. On the froth side, we have milk and foam. For your milk options, you have cow's milk, almond milk, oat milk, soy milk, coconut milk. And of course you saw that the icons change as well. So you have a cute little visual indicator. It could not be any more clear. Some other milk frothers that I've used in the past, it requires a sort of button dance that you need to learn, like double press, triple press. Like this doesn't require any type of learning. You can just pick it up and go. You could actually not even have to read the instruction manual because we know that most of us don't really do that. Although, give it a glance. There's some useful information in there as well. For the foam options, you have hot thick foam, cold thick foam, hot cap, hot latte, hot flat white. I've done cow's milk for flat white, latte, and cappuccino. Let me tell you that the foam is really great. It does exactly what it needs to do. I still struggle sometimes with my flat whites with the steam one manually. Sometimes I'll introduce too much air into my milk texture frothing, but the flat whites here are consistent and really good. There's a countdown on the timer. It's like 3.5 minutes to froth the milk. They have an exclusive liquid volume recognizing technology that would allow to adjust and manage the foam according to the amount of liquid you have in there. Oh, perfect milk consistency. And you do get different micro bubbles and stuff like that. And when you also click on the foam button, you'll notice that the icon changes to indicate how much foam you have. It doesn't indicate what kind of foam. You have to have a bit of base knowledge with that. I was able to latte art with flat white. I was able to latte art with latte. Cappuccino, less so, but that is also sort of normal given that it's a bit more airy and bubbly and thicker foam as well. So it's a little harder to do latte art. I mean, I guess the definition of cappuccino and the foam density and stuff may differ from region to region. Hard to find consistent, standardized information across the world. I did also try oat milk. I tried the flat white and I tried the latte. I used Oatly. I was speaking with the barista after the fact, and he said that for alternative milk, it really depends. Each one has its pros and cons. I haven't tested every single alternative milk brand. I will say that for the Oatly, I had mixed results. The flat white microfoam just wasn't really there. It broke too easily, so I believe that's a result of the milk itself and the ingredients and the recipe of the milk. But Oatly, I found that with the Oatly brand oat milk for flat white, it just fell flat. But Oatly for a latte was actually quite okay for the consistency and being able to pour decent latte art. If you have more input for alternative milk and you have experience with this DREO, leave it in the comments so we can have a resource for other people. My negative, in order to use the latte art, you have to fill it up to the latte art line inside, anywhere between those 2 lines, from the bottom to the top, so that's square. Those 2 lines are about 6 to 8 ounces. So in my case, I'm making a flat white with 4 ounces of milk. To be able to use this all the time, daily, it made it not great because I would waste milk, although I wouldn't waste milk. I would put it aside to drink later or to use just to make a hot chocolate or something, but not to refroth because you can't really refroth milk after. I tried to use the minimum line instead of the minimum latte art line for frothing milk, and it completely did not work. So don't do that. Follow the lines. They're there for a reason. I'm hoping that DREO will release a different top perhaps for smaller amounts of milk for flat white, because if you are making a 4-ounce quantity of milk, you're out of luck here. 6 to 8 ounces, perfect. So if that's how much milk you need for 1 to 2 cups, great. Pouring directly out of this for latte art was also iffy. If you're a super experienced barista, then I'm sure you could manage to work with this. It's got a rounded spout rather than a sharp spout. I would suggest removing the frothing propeller, give it a little whirl, and then pour. I struggled with that. I instead would pour it into another cup, which even if you use a steam wand, a lot of baristas like using a second cup to pour. So I would pour it in here, and then I was able to do fantastic latte art. Well, fantastic to my level and expertise of latte art. It does take a little bit longer than if you were to do it by hand with a steam wand, like a strong steam wand, like my Breville dual boiler. I think I can steam in under a minute and then just wipe the wand. What you're getting with this is plug and play, no experience required. You can just walk away and it'll give you a little jingle, and then you come back when it's done. So if you had an espresso machine and you also were frothing with this, you basically could do it at the same time and not have to worry about anything. You can just froth your milk, walk away while you take care of your espresso, finish your espresso shots, then the milk will be done, and then you pour. And directly on the other side, we have its dedicated buttons for stirring. Stir speed, which is low and high. You have temperatures in 10-degree increments, 130, 140, 150, 160, and 170. 170 is the highest. I did test with the temperature probe, the 170 after it came out, and it was very close to being 170. There was a little bit of a drop in temperature, but that's also quite normal. It would cool a little bit after, when you open the top. There's temperature sensors in there as well. Stir mode, there is no countdown timer, and it fluctuates each time I use it. I would say on average, doing a high stir at 170 Fahrenheit would take me about 4 to 5 minutes for the minimum line. And if you go to higher, like I've done 2 hot chocolates at 170 and 16 ounces, I think that was maybe the max line, and that took about 7.5 minutes. But there was another time, exceptionally, that it took 10 minutes and eventually I manually stopped it. That only ever happened once. I think it was a fluke of some sort. Maybe something wasn't working well, something wasn't seated well. I have no idea, but it hasn't happened again since using it. I would suggest keeping the top on, not because you're gonna get splashing. I haven't gotten any splashing. There's quite a bit of space from the top max liquid line anyway to the very top. I mean, if you have powder, it could, fling up. I would keep the top on mainly because you wanna keep the heat in. So it takes less time too. Also, it does remember the last setting that you used. If you leave this plugged in, the screen will shut off after a bit of time. And when you're finished, you get a cute little jingle, quite audible, quite loud. So if you're somewhere else in the house, you should probably hear it unless you live in a mansion. Nice little notification. Enjoy your drink, enjoy your time. Nice little touch. Speaking of which, I'm gonna be making so many hot chocolates this winter. The order to use it is very simple. Depending on what drink you're making, stir side, whoopsie, I don't know why I tried to do that. Froth side, you will use the one with the propellers screen foam. And then the stir side, you will use the stir stick. The order of use is that you'll put the propeller in, depending on the type of drink that you're making. You'll put your liquid. If there's powder, you put the powder in last. And you cover it, and then you start it. It's just better to follow that order. Whenever you do start it, they always give a reminder to put the correct thing in and then to start it after. I feel like following that order has given me better results because once I did put the powder first and then put the liquid, and I feel like it's scorched a little bit at the bottom. It's very easy to clean off, but that means that you're also not getting all of your powder mixed into your drink, so it will be less concentrated. They also say in their product, in their brochure and stuff, that you can do chai. If you read the manual, what they mean by that is anything powdered, so like instant chai, instant hot chocolate. You can't just brew chai otherwise in here. I've actually tried to brew tea in here, straight up tea leaves. No. I've also used this in very creative ways. When I'm cooking, assist in making a sauce, and it was a powdered sauce, and instead of taking out a little pot, stirring it, making sure nothing burns, and watching it while I cook, and having 2 pots, I ended up using this to stir my sauce, which was fantastic. Didn't realize that this could assist me in cooking. It's really easy to clean with a sponge, and even sometimes I just give it a rinse, and that's pretty much enough, to be honest, but you should give it a little scrubby scrub with soap. And it is also dishwasher safe. Now, obviously the base is not dishwasher safe. Don't throw the base in. This top portion, the lid, the propellers, throw that in your dishwasher. How much does this thing cost? At the time of filming, 99 USD, 129 Canadian. It is very well priced when you start looking at frothers and stirrers on the market that can do everything that this can do, but this can do it really well, consistently. The foam is excellent. Because a lot of the times these frothing things, they overly froth and it's just like a thick foam, which this can also do, but it can do the harder foams like flat white. Flat white is a harder foam to do. Does it excellent. And you get tons of other options. So in terms of value, price, budget, everything you can do on here, the interface, this is really a good price for what you're getting. I also do have affiliate links in the description, so please do click those links if you want to purchase this. It helps support the channel and also allows me to continue getting awesome products for reviews. So who is this really good for at the end of the day? If you are into latte art, it is good to learn the technique as a base, just for yourself, I guess. But if you don't want to, you don't have to, because this can just generate different drinks for you without having to learn the incorporating air technique and how long and stirring and all that. Just press a few buttons and you are good to go. People that want to make 1 to 2 person drinks, with the caveat that you can't go less than 6 ounces. I'm just gonna say a competitor that's really known, and then Nespresso Arancino has nothing compared to this. Like, this is very excellent, very much more barista focused, but does everything else that the Nespresso can do, but way better. I find the Arancino, the foam was just way too dense. I sold mine years ago, and then I haven't had a frother since, but now I do, and I will be making a lot more hot chocolates. I have actually been making more hot chocolates because I have this on hand, so when my friends come over, I just have a couple of packets ready to go. So now that you have your milk frother set, what about salt and pepper? The basics of kitchen cooking, and something that you would use all the time. You can check out my Man Kitchen pepper cannon and salt cannon review right here if you want to add that useful tool to your collection in the kitchen. And another video that may interest you would be this one. And I will see you in the next video.